Hopefully you've all been nourished and refreshed, and you're ready to enjoy Corfu Saturday night undead. I'm Sandra Bond, your Corfu co-chair, and I'm going to start you off with my poetry set. It'll get better after that. Oh, yes it will. I said to the world's most sarcastic guy, "Do you want to get a sock in the eye?" He said, "That's very kind of you, but I think I prefer a sock on the foot." This one I wrote after Alison Scott had a little accident with her keyboard on the desktop. Ale atop coffee, keyboard sticks like coffee. Coffee atop ale, keyboard short of pale. Yeah, the trouble with this is that I've got all my poetry in one very long document, so it's rather tricky to go back and forth between them. Yeah. This one doesn't run in. That moment when you need to dash out of the room because all the people are too much for your anxiety. But to save face, you say you're going out just to work on a poem. And then you're so ashamed of having lied that you write the poem anyway. This one's called Damn It Moon Moon. She said the moon was a giant crystal bending and refracting light. Its gravity well, it's dangerous for humans to approach, and yet we always cast our glances upward. Moths and wolves knows why. That's an interesting metaphor, I said. He said the moon was a dry as dust satellite, not only dead, but it had never ever come to life. We went there once, and now we're going again, and it was a waste of time then, and it's a waste of time now. It's just a billionaire's pastime, like going to see shipwrecks in mid submarines. That's one way of looking at it, I said. They said the moon was set up in the sky above as a reminder to us all that we ought to refocus our thoughts now and again, from the drab mundane to the unattainable, because while stressing for that which we cannot reach, we may find ourselves clutching some other treasure whose existence we haven't even suspected. That's a really neat way of putting it, I said. You said the moon has a neat sweet purpose that is ours alone, and that is to give us a beacon in the night when we wander out hand in hand and find a nice patch of cool grass to sit in and to snuggle. I love the moon watching the night scene over us, but I love you more. Oh, it's amazing the way your mind works, I said. What the moon herself says about all this speculation, I have no idea. I'll tell you this. If I could speak with the talk with the moon, I wouldn't be wasting all my time trapped down here on Earth. And that's enough of that nonsense, I said. Right, do people know about the sad decline and fall of John Cleese from 45 Minutes? That's what you do, yeah. I wrote this one last year after he'd just been invited onto the BBC to give an interview about why he'd started to present for the right-wing channel GB News. And he said, well, I have to go there because the BBC won't give me a platform anymore. Oh, very good, John. I thought, Lord, you know, coming on the BBC to play the BBC won't give you a platform. Oh, you're so funny. You still got. I got you being serious, aren't you? And he was being serious, and as a consequence, I was so disappointed. So I wrote this poem called "Some Bastard Moved the Goalposts." I was young and I was radical, a firebrand was I. I was on top of all the issues of the day, and that's no lie. I was part of the majority, in fact, there is no doubt. But some bastard moved the goalposts, and now I feel left out. I thought it was quite reasonable. I thought my friends all knew that I hardly ever take a controversial point of view. Of my noble good intentions, I thought everyone was sure, but some bastard moved the goalposts, and now I'm insecure. I thought I was a centrist, but the centre's gone to pot. I'm standing where the centre was, but now I'm where it's not. The youngsters shout reactionary and cruel words like that. Some bastard moved the goalposts, and now my jokes fall flat. I tried my best to be a plain and reasonable bloke, but with the best will in the world, I cannot understand the woke. Some bastard moved the goalposts, and now it's been revealed that instead of playing for the team, I've wandered off the field. I don't like to be better, but I really cannot see how the problematic issue here can be put down to me. Some bastard moved the goalposts, I tell you, that is all. So instead of moving with them, I shall take away my ball. This one I call Cascov and Amontillado optional. There's just two things, says Mr. Poe. You need to make a party hop. So quick, off to the shops you go to buy a pet and a pendulum. Oh God, I've ruined it. Yeah, this is one that's going to be in my book of poetry that comes out at Easter. It's called The Thief of the Rhine. One morning in the summertime, I ran into the thief of the Rhine. I said, "Good day, how do you do? I'm Sandra Bond, and who are you?" He grinned at me and showed his teeth and said, "Of rhyme I am the thief. I steal from poets every day, and then their rhymes all go to hell." I found the last of so. My rhymes were gone. I had no more. I couldn't make them down. It was not plus what to do next. I hoped good luck might come my way. Instead, I met the scansion thief who took away my ability to make poems scan. And now they're as black as a very black thing indeed. And they don't even all have the same number of lines per stanza anymore. So that's what we got here. This is what I've done at a few poetry events in England. And it's called I Said Poetry. I said poetry was dynamite to blow the roof clean off the top of your psyche. They arrested me for carrying an offensive weapon. I said poetry was a crowbar that forces its way into the crevices and lockboxes of your head. They arrested me for going equipped. I said poetry was a drug that in its pure form leaves you mind blown and transported. They arrested me for possession with intent to supply. So now I say poetry is the air, visible, intangible, all around you. You forget it's there, but you die without it. And what are you going to do about that, copper? There's one that goes back to the pandemic when everyone was filling their shopping trolleys full of toilet rolls. I called it panic on helicon. Don't panic by your poetry. There's plenty of it there. Don't try to hoard your poetry, or worse still, stoop to theft. Don't panic buy your poetry. The government has found that if you use it moderately, there's plenty to go around. Don't panic buy your poetry. You'll make the poets tired. Standards of tired poetry may not be as desired. Don't panic buy your poetry. Fill every kitchen shelf. If you need some pretty poetry, go write the stuff yourself. Yeah, it's always further down than I thought it. I think it is because I wrote it earlier than I thought. Many of the others. Oh, see, maybe this one. This one's called Stay Doors. Using a nail file, I very carefully unbent the staple, returning it to symmetry, one perfect right angle either end. Taking the next one, I repeated the laborious procedure. When I had a couple of dozen, I reached for my glue stick and affixed one to the next until they sat in a tidy row, millimetre perfect and regimented, ready to load back into the stapler. I sometimes think recycling is more trouble than it's worth. This one's anyone like anyone read anything except science fiction here? Anyone read Who Done It? This one's called Seeming On and On and On and On. I read a lot more Who Done It. I think I can safely say if the hero was Inspector Magritte instead of Inspector Maygrey. Maygrey's adventures always end with a criminal revealed, but with Magritte, plot twist comes straight out of left field. For sure, you can bet that Maygrey will finger the guilty man, but Magritte arrested an apple, a goat, and a copper frying pan. Maygrey, he used the fingerprints to track the killer down, but the elbow prints that Magritte found brought him deserved renown. When the suspect vanished, Maygrey felt anger and frustration, but Magritte deduced the criminal escaped by evaporation. So 3 cheers for Inspector Magritte. His first name is Rene, the most surreal, unorthodox cop in all the Anshura tech. One more, I think.
One more. Encore.
I've never actually performed this one live because most people won't understand it. But you'll know those people, your fans. And it's called Rudyard Kipling on the Hugo Committee. Now, these are the rules we must follow when running the Hugo Award, and they must be adhered to with rigour, lest there be dismay and discord. Aye, these are the rules we must follow, as old as the fandom that made them, and if you do not keep them firmly, the fans will all say you dismay them. These rules, they were writ in the region where all that is written must be. Though they are ancient, their content remains valid today, as you'll see. So these are the rules we must follow, which I am about to explain. I trust you'll pay heed to them closely and read them again and again. I shall tell you the rules we must follow, both at home and when over the sea. And here are the rules we must follow. Excuse me, I have to go pee.
Oh, yeah, all right. As promised, it's seriously going downhill from here. And well, I have to talk shit for a minute while Sarah gets her thimbles on. That really sounds dirty, doesn't it? As many of you, if not all of you, will know, I'm one to do the occasional lyric parody. I'm also one to get the arse with people who call them films because they're parodies for whatever. People have been doing it for so long. And here is one, never performed before or recorded or got on YouTube or anything like that. For the other Steel Eye Span fan in the audience. Show that, I know it's you, yeah. But Steel Eye Span fans in the audience, you may recognise this tune as Misty Moisty Morning. But without the tricky intro, or like the solo bit in the middle and stuff like that. And so this is basically myself. We are the T. Cochrane Band, T. Cochrane on mandolin. Sandra Bond on the washboard. Yeah, the now version of a little song that I call One Pissed Up Fan Room Morning. Oh, come on, forget it. One pissed up fan room morning, while pretty crowded out. I met with an old fan who said he can't be here. There were no shoes upon his feet, not researching fetching. Here's your boo, and here's your boo, and here's your boo again. But then I met another, very good free try. He had a diet Pepsi, always at his left side. He wore a down jacket, and he had a friendly grin. See, here's your boo, and here's your boo, and here's your boo again. Now, we're all right with audience participation to sing along. They're on the here's your boo, here's your boo. But we mean sing along with audience participation, not throwing fucking pineapples or anything. Now, keep going, I'll catch up. I went a little further, and there I met a lady going with Bilkins. Bilkins, she said, well, I began to back away and begged her not to sing. This maid was restaurant fair with cleavage on display. Laughing and somewhat reckless, decided I would stay. And so I felt caught in her, you know, so I might get in. Say here's your boo, here's your boo, here's your boo. Oh, fuck it, no, sorry, you were expecting it. You were totally expecting it. I totally expected to leave and miss the verse that he was in. So, you know, there you go. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not, all right. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Shall we resume? I had to do a family. I spent that weekend, you know, bragging on my fanzines and telling them what the why I think I was saying I'll go that my way. Then you go back to the playing room in desperate need of drink. I planned to get insensible, so I didn't act the thing. Oh, well, lonely furrow, I spent it to all around. I never won an over. I never got a fan. My pleasure, fucking you go. There goes that master plan. But random is a way of life, and it may be a sin. But I'll say, here's your boo, and here's your boo, and here's your boo again. Thank you. She always got a side stick when they try and do stuff.
Alison Scott, she must be visiting in the South.
Knowing how the original song goes, once I appreciate Alison Groves, the ugliest witch in the North Country.
Yeah, that's why Jesus.
Just a moment here where it's full on our party of strong fighters. One of them is Dan Stephan, who's not paying fucking attention, Dan. Right. Yes, number one. So my strongly players for this one. Got a couple of sketches. We're going to go to the first one now. A couple of sketches. The scene is a fanzine table at a convention. Hold on. I'll give you this one. And I have one to walk on top. This is where you walk on, Isabel. Just remember that. If you look at the a fancy table at a convention, a fan, and people quiet.
Morning.
Morning.
I get to this year, NSF commentary, and White's amazing editorials, and the new idea, please.
Horse here.
But that's not what I asked for. That's a Panama.
Let me take care of this van while you can.
May I have a Vanavon, please?
Certainly. To this here SF commentary, the amazing editorials, and the new idea. Here you are.
Thank you.
Now then, what have you made of your mind?
I haven't yet.
Animal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, we're all, but I can give you to this here, and it's a commentary. Ted White's amazing editorials have a new idea.
Lovely.
Here you go. We've got hundreds of them. So here, have a Vermont. We've got hundreds of them.
What we doing next?
Well, it's gonna be finally.
He's sitting back your line.
Hey, I mean, you can hear
He's behind you.
Oh,
Come, you. Are you gonna do this fucking thing?
Yeah, there's four papas here. Suffering nicely with the egg.
I'm gonna tell you what, you can't get fucked up. You just can't. Can we borrow this a little? All right. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna tell you all a story now. This is about a story on the other side of the world in San Francisco, downtown Market Street, where in the 1980s, I sometimes found myself going in order to make enough money to take care of my two cats. I discovered a funny thing about downtown Market Street. I was down there and I was working for a lawyer's office. And I was watching the lawyers go in and out of the elevators, talking about the ball scores on their plush inch-thick carpets. And I realized that they thought of themselves as heroes as they walked in and out of those elevators and made their way up to their offices. They thought of themselves as the protagonists, the same way we think of ourselves as the protagonists of our movie. And there aren't really that many people other than the lawyers that really think of themselves that way. Well, I was up there looking at the 3 cents worth of fingerprint and the $500 carpet frames. And I don't know if you've ever been up to one of these offices, they've all got abstract paintings on the walls. And they've all got finger paintings. They look like someone stuck their hand in about 5 cents worth of painting and went swoosh. And then they took a $1,500 frame and they hung it on the wall. And they're inch-thick carpets, and I thought about it some more. And I couldn't say very much because I was trying to pay my rent. But after I quit, I did some more thinking. And I decided these people ought to have a song written about them. Because just like the American cowboys got songs written about them, and the steel workers got songs about them, everybody should have a song about their profession. So this is a song for the lawyers. It's called The Dinosaur Cowboys. And the reason it's called The Dinosaur Cowboys is because that's what they do. They live off the blood of dead million-year-old dinosaurs, and that's how they make their living. All these blues songs start off. Hey, ho, ho, hey, digging up dinosaur blood all day. Shoot that pie. Staking claims on reptile pods. Sniffing the air and looking for green. In the place where the mighty giants have been. Hey. Hey, oh, oh, hey. Digging up dinosaur dung all day. The song of the dinosaur cowboy. Anyway, by the way, if you want to hear me back when I have a voice and can sing, just look me up on YouTube and you'll find more. This is a poem that Sandra liked. The Ballad of the Scrupulous Frog. Let me catch my breath. At the bottom of the valley, in a slush green pond, sat a scrupulous frog on a lily pad. And he brooded all day in his froggy way. He thought his life was very sad. Oh why, he wondered, is this pond so cold and cruel? I'd like to go chase dragonflies and cut the bullfrogs down to size. Gaze sweetly in a she-frog's eye. But alas, I always play the fool. A hop toad passed and laughed at him, through mustache black and curls. You silly frog, get off your pants. Get out and see the world. The scrupulous frog was puzzled, so he croaked out all his woe. He thought he'd ask the sea snail to tell him where to go. Now, the sea snail was an older gent who lived inside a shell. He never went out swimming. Still, he fancied he lived well. Don't worry none about that toad. The snail looked down and frowned. He's hopping out on empty air, and we're on solid ground. The scrupulous frog flashed a dubious grin as he stared at the squishy mud. I hate this pond, he told the snail. The water's brackish, going pale. The snail turned pale and thumped his tail. I like it fine, your fun. That's right, the tadpoles bawled. Our pond is quite the best. Our scrupulous friend relaxed and sighed. Could all his fellow frogs have lied? He really was impressed. And yet, back on the lily pad, he wondered to the sun, if what they're telling me is true, why is it that I feel so blue? And he has all the fun. The hop toad laughed and landed on a nearby wooden log. You know, he said, it's all the same. Snail or toad or frog. I used to squat and brood a lot right where you're sitting there. But then, one day the wind came by and swooped me in the air. I shivered and moaned. But when the ride was nearly through, I realized I like the view. You'll be all right. Don't worry. There's lots of ways. There's bound to be more windy days. That's the scrupulous fact. Now, some poor soul's got to follow that. Oh dear, it's me. I did say I was going to do a bit of stand-up for this, but I might have to sit down for it because you know my legs are long. And the idea for doing a little bit of stand-up is what we will love is taking the piss out of something. So I thought, well, in a great corporate tradition, well, let's have a random drawing and just draw the name of one person off on a membership list to take the piss out of. Totally random, totally random. I can't express this. Hold on. Totally random drawing. James Bacon. Totally random. Yeah, right, okay. And I suppose he must have got wind of it because the fucker didn't show up. So, but you're going to get that.
He did send you a bottle of bourbon.
He wants to get on my good side for some reason, thank you. But I'm going to just fucking take the piss out of it anyway, because there you go. Now, James Bacon is like a man of many talents, a man who's very active in the science fiction fan community and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And he's also actually, like me, a bit of a trumpet. But he does have other interests, and it's one of his other main interests that I kind of wanted to delve into a little bit here. Now, there is a physical feature of a toddler, which is generally known as the bell end. And I actually did some proper research on this and found out it is not named after Harry Bell. Although, apparently Doug Bell may be established in some kind of claim to that, but we don't know. But the bell end, and I'm assuming you all know what the bell end is. So, but what is the purpose of the bell end? Draw the bell, very shut. Told you, you ain't a fucking getaway car, keep it running. So, the purpose of the bell end, they give loads of money to UCLA, and they spent like months looking at this, and they come up with, well, the physical purpose of that is it gives more pleasure to the man during impulse. All right. So I did King's College, Cambridge, they give them a lot of money, I spent several months and come up with a conclusion that is gives more pleasure to the female doing it. Now, Sir James Bacon was at this time attending the University of Glasgow, and he was instrumental in finding their solution to this issue. So they, they didn't put a lot of money. It was enough for like 20 pints of Abbey or something like that. So 20 pints of Abbey, and it really only took him a couple of hours to arrive at the conclusion that it stops your ink falling.
So I did it.
So, but there you go. This ignited a lifelong interest and pursuit in that lovely Mr. Bacon of wanking. Wanking is a massive hobby. He's got that going on. Now, and the other thing, of course, is like James has an occasionally tenuous relationship with English language, as we know, especially when he's writing it down. Yes, occasionally slightly tenuous. So I don't know if you remember, it's a long time ago now, but the very earliest issues of journey planning used to have a little slogan on the back. Some of you might remember. It's like, if you can read this, it was edited by Claire Bright. So anyway, yeah, boy, he gets his words mixed up a little bit here and there. He's, walking up down a nice country park or something and going past a little picnic of Sunday school girls and all of that. And they're teaching them with the picnic how to chew their food properly. And naturally, he misheard the word mastication in front of all these schoolgirls, and now he's on some kind of government list, I think. But as you do. To be fair, it may well have been on his mind because he'd just come back from Irish England's weekly wanking contest, in which he showed his absolute stamina by coming in second and fifth. But listen, it's a hobby. Everyone's got to have a hobby. He's got to have several. But well, it gets noticed. It's like most people in professional transportation, which is like at the same thing as a professional taxi driver. You have to have your regular medical. For us, it's every couple of years, or even if it's 6 months a year, something like that. So he's having his regular medical there with a doctor. The doctor's like, you really got to stop wanking. And he's like, why? Because I'm trying to examine you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you for the lack of pineapple on that one. Now I think I would like to sum the fanzine table part chapter 2. So Dan, Karen. It is the same scene, the same fanzine proprietor, different man. Oh, sure.
Morning,
Morning.
I'd like some excellent Spanish reading, please.
Certainly, ma'am. I'm your finest purveyor of fanzines in this entire convention.
How about idea?
I'm sorry. Some grumpy old man already caught them all. Said something about a bonfire.
Well, SF commentary then.
Oh, Brooks hasn't printed any of those in years. Something to do with weight restrictions and new freedom quality. Or the evidence.
Theme?
The co-editor's exercise bike broke down. Haven't seen one of those in ages.
Captain Flashback.
Yes.
Yes. Give me a bundle of Captain Flashback then.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were addressing me, Captain Phineas Flashback, U.S. Navy Red.
Please, Joe. Portable storage then.
I do have that, yes.
You do? Excellent.
Yes, but It runs a bit.
Well, I like it running.
Well, it's very ruddy actually.
No matter, hand it,
Might be ruddier than you like.
I don't care how fucking runny it is, hand it over to Paul.
Oh.
Now, what?
Yes,
Inca,
seized your customs, I'm afraid. Very suspicious, lascivious content of error.
this here, then.
Not much call for that.
Are you, I'm 770? It's the most popular crazy in the world.
Not in these parts.
Well, what have you got?
But never mind.
But thank you very much to the occasional strolling players for performing those little bits and pieces for us. What have we got next, Boss?
My union will talk to you, sir.
All right. We'll have a word. I think it's just us going to play, I think. John? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know anything else.
All right, that's it. So, yeah, we get set up for that. Well, we've got a little bit of play out. A little bit of play out, something to do then with additions to the band. So, this is going to feature, also include John Harding on. Huh? Oh, yeah. Actually, you might want to stand here for me because I think I need them as well. Not really. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, just stand there with it. I'll, I want to remember what I was going to do. That number.
We've been having song together for 5 years. He promised to be Chef Wallace.
Oh, yeah, that's just complete sample. So, once again, the T. Cochran Band featuring T. Cochran there. Sandra Bond on the washboard.
Just in vocals.
But last time we actually recorded this and posted it online. With it. What we did back then. It's actually, because like, both me and John basically got shit voices, but when we put them together, it kind of makes one. It works out just about right.
I just realized. I didn't know your voice being.
So, yeah, all right, that was clever. But we didn't have a banjo. But, yeah, this is not a parody or anything like that, it's just a straight up version of Tom Petty's song Learning to Fly. So we will do that. But if you want to remember, we can do it. There. And I'm 30-year-old. Started out all alone. Somewhere down across the hill. Found it out. Oh, God, still. He got away. Turning down. It's a hard thing. Good old days may not return. And rock my head, and you may burn. Learning to find the night your way. Coming down is the hardest thing. Try to say. Right. You down. Bring your heart. Feel your crown. Sorry to out. God knows where. You found out. When I get there. Learn to fly. Around the clouds. I goes up. Come down. 35. But I ain't got wings. Coming down. It's the hardest thing. Yeah, you were we actually rehearsed with that. Not the youth itself, but well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for putting up with the shambles that we always expected open mic to be. And well, apart from Teresa, the only non-shammy bit for a lot. So now if you give us just a couple of minutes, we will change over and immediately followed by just a minute.